Randomly, one of my partners sent me a clip from an interview with Michael Jordan. He was on NBC Today. Michael Jordan never does interviews, by the way. And it's funny because right now I'm watching the Last Dance documentary. Every time I get down with work, I go throw on the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary. If I'm feeling like I ain't got the motivation, it's like, yo, look at what Michael Jordan was able to do. Like, yo, you better suck it up and be more like Mike. Michael Jordan was not my favorite athlete of all time. He's before my time, but Kobe was my guy. And obviously my guy got a lot from MJ. So the best thing I got right now, ever since that Last Dance documentary came out last year, is when I'm going through it, I throw on that Last Dance. And I just say, hey, that's what my guy Kobe would have looked to for inspiration. So I'm going to follow behind my guy Kobe, who follow behind his guy Michael Jordan. So I throw that Last Dance documentary on. And ironically, with the Kyrie Irving situation playing out in Brooklyn the way it's going to play out, with him being unavailable for that team, they barred him from being there just because he wouldn't be available for their home games half the season. I'm looking at how Michael Jordan was able to handle Dennis Rodman, how Scottie Pippen was able to handle Dennis Rodman, the rest of that Bulls team, the Chicago Bulls front office, Phil Jackson as the coach of that team. Dennis loved Phil, and Phil loved Dennis. Mike was like, look, there's nobody going to do what Dennis Rodman will do on the court, so we'll take whatever we can get, and we'll put up with the mess with Dennis as long as we can get him to that basketball court. And even if that meant letting him have a couple games in the season, they would let him have it. Dennis I was just looking at the documentary, and they're right around that run against the Jazz, those couple years in the finals. Dennis even went to go be a WCW star right in the middle of that thing, right? He's hitting people in the back with chairs. Like, Dennis had to go party with Carmen Electra. Michael Jordan had to drag that dude out that hotel. But when Dennis got to that court, he played hard. He'd rebound. He'd give you 20 rebounds. And I was thinking to myself, man, ironically, as Kevin Durant has to deal, another all-time great, my 9th best player of all time, has to deal with another erratic star. Dang, in theory, you'd think Dennis Rodman would be more of a handful than Kyrie Irving. But if I'm watching this and reading this documentary correctly, Mike and Scottie knew what they were getting with Dennis, for good or for bad. The inconsistencies in the person that is Kyrie Irving, I bet behind the scenes, KD is pissed. Keep in mind, this man decided to go join the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie in his prime after leaving a stable organization at the top with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr. And now you find yourself in Brooklyn with a second-year head coach in Steve Nash, who's probably learning how to deal with situations like this on the fly. And you're also learning how to, deal with James Harden. I'm sure KD's pissed. And don't give me that mess. And we'll talk about KD and Kyrie more in another video. But keep in mind, this is the man that had a burner account talking about Westbrook, even though he was going out and publicly saying the right things about Westbrook. You see what I'm saying? Doing there? Like, if you think behind the scenes KD ain't on that burner account tweeting right now about Kyrie Irving and this ridiculousness with this vaccine, you out your mind. Michael Jordan, again, he did an interview with NBC Today. Like I said, he rarely does interviews. And he kind of commented on Kyrie without specifically saying it. This is probably all you'll get from MJ because he doesn't talk a lot publicly. He said, I'm a firm believer in science, and I'm going to stick with that. Hopefully everybody abides by whatever the league sets the rules. I think once everybody buys in, we're going to be fine. Again, that is the great Michael Jordan stance on the vaccination within the NBA. He is an owner of a team, obviously, in Charlotte. So it is in his best interest for everybody to be vaccinated because that is a product that he is financially invested in. So that is the great Michael Jordan stance on the vaccine. He is all for science. That's kind of how I am. Look, I don't know what's in the vaccine. I'm no scientist. My fiance, she works in medical. She's a scientist. She is around people that know more about the vaccine than me. And it's like, yo, I'm just going to trust her. She tells me go get it. Who am I to tell her, no, I'm not going to do that because this, I don't know. My fiance tell me to do it, I'm going to probably get it done. I'm leaning on her expertise, or I'm leaning on her who's leaning on experts to get my information. That's what I'm doing in my household. All right. I'm no scientist. Look, the people that I trust tell me go get it. And that's what I'm going to do. It looks like Michael Jordan is leaning on science as well. I'm sure he's privileged and I'm sure he's able to get to a lot more higher up scientists than my fiance is able to get to at this point in time. But you get the premise of what I'm saying. Y'all let me know, man. What do y'all think about Kevin Durant having to deal with Kyrie Irving? Does this feel Dennis Rodman like to you? Let me know.